and welcome back. Tammy at Little Jordan Farms contacted me and asked if I would like to be part of a collaboration. And yes, I did want to be a part of this. It's one of my favorite types of foods, and so what's not to love about that? This is called the Mexican Comida Collab, and I believe comida means food, and if I'm wrong, correct me nicely, please. I'm taking their word for it. I didn't look it up. So we're gonna have a Mexican food collaboration, and as I said, I was asked by Tammy at Little Jordan Farms, and Lori at Whippoorwill Holler is part of this, Jeanette at Neil's Homestead. It also has Stacy at Stacy's Country Cooking and Leandra at Take Me There 20. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I love Mexican food. I grew up eating Tex-Mex probably half the time as I was growing up because we lived in San Antonio. So it was just what we ate. What I'm going to make today is not necessarily a traditional recipe, but it does have the flavor. Basically, this is like a chili relleno, except it's deconstructed. And don't come at me, that is not a chili relleno. I'm not even saying it is. And I do have a chili relleno casserole recipe, and I'll link to that. But I got so many nasty comments about, that's not chili rellenos. No, it's not. It's casserole, and casserole takes flavors and mimics the original. So I'm just going to call this a green chili casserole, and this one is going to be meatless. So I'm also part of a collaboration that is Meatless Mondays, but I missed it because I was so busy working. So here's my answer to both. So anyway, this is really pretty simple to make. Now, you can use fresh chilies, and I have done that. And you can use Anaheim, Hatch chilies, Poblana, Pasilla, whatever kind you like, or whatever kind you can get. And today I'm going to use two kinds of chili, but they're both Hatch chilies. And one is this canned Hatch chilies, and these are mild. And they're the whole peppers, and you want whole peppers if you can get them. I also have a small bag of frozen Hatch chilies that I roasted and froze, and those are kind of warm. So I didn't want to just use those. I wanted a mixture, so it'll kind of temper the heat a little bit. So let's get started making my green chili casserole. Right, so I have opened the green chilies that were canned. I've drained them so that we don't have all the liquid. And then I've got mine that I roasted and that I froze. Now this is one of those things, kind of like the virus. When you're finished, make sure you wash your hands well, because these are warm chilies. And just if you find any bits of skin, peel them off. If you're roasting them fresh, just roast them. You can over a fire or in the oven or whatever. Put them in a paper bag to steam them so that the skin comes off. And then I cut them open, and I'm going to take all these seeds out. At least most of them. I'm not going to worry too much. But the seeds in the membrane are going to be heat. So I'm going to take most of that out. There's this membrane here. So we just want to get them cleaned up a little. And you can see the roasted charred skin. Again, I don't care if they are 100% seed free, but I want to get the worst of the seeds out. So that's what we've done here. Now, if you take the ones from the can, if I can grab hold of them, I'm just going to cut them open so that they can lay flat. Now, if you've never had hatch chilies, they are not like the ones you buy, the regular green chilies that you buy canned. They are, but they aren't. They just have a really special flavor. And if you can find them, that's what I would use. But if you can't, it's okay. You can use just regular canned green chilies. They'll work just fine. These just give you a little bit extra flavor, and depending on what you get, heat also. And I'm fortunate I found these at my local grocery, but if you can't find them there, you can always look online, and I'll see if I can find you a link for that. So I have my ingredients here all prepped. I've got my green chilies, I've got my spices, my cheese, my eggs, and I have my homemade farmer's cheese with garlic, lemon, and rosemary. And no, the rosemary isn't really what we need for this, but hey, I made this and I'm going to use it, and I don't think you're going to notice the rosemary in it at all. But if you make homemade farmer's cheese, it works great. Now, you can use queso fresco, or you can use cotija, or you can use ricotta, anything that's got that kind of crumbly texture. But hey, if you got some milk and some lemon, you can make your own cheese, and it works perfect for this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I got my bacon dish here. And I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in there and brush it around. You want to coat it pretty well because you're going to have a lot of cheese going in this. And you sure don't want it sticking because you're going to lose that goodness. So coat it with the olive oil well. And now it's time to assemble this. And I'm going to start, I think on the bottom, I'm going to put my hatch chilies that I roasted and froze. That way I can kind of control how they get spread through this. That kind of gives it an even distribution of heat. And then we're going to take this farmer's cheese, or queso fresco, whatever kind you got, and we're just going to sprinkle it over those chilies. You're going to need about 6 to 8 ounces of this cheese, or whichever kind you use. And you're going to need 12 to 16 ounces of cheddar. So next we're putting the cheddar on. You want a good layer of that. Now we're going to put the canned chilies. These I'm going to put in there pretty thick. In fact, I think I'm going to almost double them up. Although I could save these for leftovers for some other recipe, but you know what? I'm going to put them all in there. There we go. And while I'm doing this, I'm preheating the oven to 425 degrees. Now we're going to repeat. Now, I thought very strongly about adding some chicken or ground beef to this, and it would be wonderful. It would taste wonderful. But again, to those purists out there that are going to scream at me because I add meat to these, I didn't. And it also makes it Meatless Monday, so you know what? I go with it. But it would be absolutely incredible with some cooked chicken in here. So more cheddar cheese. Now, I don't mind people commenting that that's not how they did it growing up. But when it is disrespectful, yeah, then I get a little upset and usually delete or give them a not so nice comment, which I shouldn't do. But hey, I'm human, and sometimes you just gotta answer them at their own level and then pay for it later. But all right, there we go. All right, this is gonna be so good. So I'm gonna set this. Now we're gonna get our eggs ready. Now, I've gotta show you these eggs. These are jumbos. In fact, they are too big for my jumbo cartons. These are, oh my gosh. And I have had several of these and a lot of these. So my new chickens are just kind of doing crazy stuff. So we're gonna crack this into here so we can see what they're like inside, because you know what? I need to use these up. So I've got 2 of these giant eggs and 3 of these jumbo. If you're using regular large or extra large, I'm gonna say 6, maybe even 8, but these are huge. That one's a double. And it's funny because the yolks are tiny and there's a lot of white, but they're giant eggs. And these hens are probably 6 to 7 months old now. So they just started laying. Another double yolker. These I'm guessing are single, but they're just really large. That's a single. That's a single. And this is another double. And this one wasn't the ginormous size, but so 8 yolks from 5 eggs. Awesome. I just gotta say, ow. My poor little hands, and they're not very big. All right, now we're gonna season up this egg mixture. And it's Mexican food, right? I gotta have garlic. So I'm gonna use about a teaspoon of granulated garlic, about a teaspoon of pink salt, and probably a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Now we're just gonna mix this up. And that's my oven coming on for anyone who hasn't watched me before. That is an automatic fan, and no, I cannot turn it off. Look how dark that is because of all these egg yolks. Now, for those of you that, again, say this isn't like a chili relleno, no, it's not. And I'm not even calling it that. But it's very similar in flavor. So now all we have to do is pour this over this. And I guarantee this is a whole lot easier than the traditional method. This easy. It's this easy. Now we're going to cover this with foil. We're going to bake it for about 40 minutes until it's nice and bubbly, cheese is melted, and eggs are cooked. That's it. So I'm going to put this in the oven and we'll come back in about 40 minutes. It's been 40 minutes and this is ready, and it smells wonderful. It's just a little bit brown around the edges and it's firm. So let's cut into this and take a taste. There it is. Green chili casserole. Let's see how it tastes. It's so good. And the hatch green chilies, Once you taste them, you'll always recognize them. They just have a distinct flavor. And using my home roasted ones and also the canned mild ones made it just right. It's just got a little heat, but you can use whatever kind you want. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please go and watch the videos from these other ladies, and I'll put the links below for both collaborations because this kind of fills both. Thank you for watching. God bless, and we'll talk again soon.